voucher, and we are happy about that. Okay, so firstly, this section we are not going to take longer time. It's not a teaching section. It's just to support us on how we can actually pass the exam. It's not enough to have the voucher. The main thing is to be able to pass the exam and showcase it in our profile that we actually have the requirements and we have the skills required for the exam. So what I want to start with is the opportunities that is open to us as the holder of this certificate. As a fabric data analyst, now we have 3 certifications. In my next presentation, I'm going to show us the difference between the three courses, the 3 certification. They're actually different. I'm going to show the difference, and that was the reason why, if you remember, I sent it on the chat that if you are yet to book your exam, don't book the exam until after we have this section. You need to understand what you want to do. You need to know your capability, before you can say that you want to pick a particular one. So firstly, Fabric is one of Microsoft's new products. Okay, and it's a new product, so which means people are just it is new to everyone. It has been maybe 2-3 years, but it is new. Okay, so and it is highly adopted by all companies. Why? Because it makes work easier. So the good thing for you is that if you are able to put yourself into this now, you will be part of the senior person when it is completely adopted by everyone. Currently, there have been roles in job description outside now looking for Fabric administrator, and none of these are actually a little bit different from what you know before. It's not completely different from what you know before. So if you can acclimatize yourself to it now, it's going to help you a lot. Number one, it's going to help you to learn, and it's going to put you at the top level. And if you see, when did we have AI? Now we are seeing a lot of people in their profile, they are saying they are senior AI developer, senior AI engineer. When did AI come into features? And if you see them in their CV, they will tell you they have 10 years of experience as an AI developer. When did we have AI itself? So the same thing with Fabric. So our Fabric has come to stay. Okay, so it is a very good opportunity for anyone to take up this, to be able to work as a Fabric administrator or Fabric data analyst. It's just a little bit different from what we have learned as a Power BI person or as a data analyst. For instance, in Qatar, we do not have Fabric. What do we call it? Fabric resource. This is Azure. This is cloud service. So Azure used to have their data center in different countries. And according to the data policy, for instance, Europe, they have their policy that their data cannot leave their country. In the US, they also have, every country has the policy. Same thing with Qatar. So, which means if any company want to use Fabric, they need to be able to provision it in the data center that is in their country. So currently, Fabric is not in Qatar data center. And a lot of companies are waiting to make use of Fabric. And Microsoft is working to make sure that they're able to bring that resource into Qatar. So immediately it comes to Qatar, it means there'll be a lot of job opening for Fabric administrator. The same thing with other countries. So even in Nigeria, it is widely adopted now. If you put it on LinkedIn, if you say Fabric Nigeria, put it anywhere. So it's a very good opportunity for us. And please, this is an educative section. If you have any question, please feel free to stop me at any point. All right, I developed a simple slide just to show us the difference between the 3 exams. And a lot of us do not actually know the difference between this exam. But we just know that we see this opportunity to get free voucher. Now we have the free voucher. So now, how do we choose? So in the voucher, you see there, they said you need to pick one of these 3 exams. The first one is DP 600, DP 700, DP 800. Okay, so we need to actually understand the certification part. And one thing you need to know is that these are actually associate exams. not fundamental. When we say associate exam, it means experts. So when you have this certification, it means you are an expert of that topic. So it is not so simple. So you need to be able to dedicate yourself to be able to ace this exam. Okay. All right. So why the comparison matter? So we are going to look at the three. So students often confuse them, but each one certificate are different job roles. You can say for each certificate are different job roles. Before now, we used to have a lot of data analysis role. Now there's a new job role. If you remember, what they used to say is that with the advent of AI, some jobs are going to be taken away, and AI is going to create some other jobs. Okay, some jobs, I mean, like general secretary, a lot of jobs are going to be taken away by AI because AI can actually do it. Okay, why AI is going to create new jobs. So anyone that take up those new jobs are the most luckiest because those new jobs will actually stay for long. One of the new role is analytic engineer. Okay, now we have data analyst. We also have data engineer. These are two separate teams, two separate roles. Okay, the work of a data analyst, they explore the data, develop dashboard, give reports. While the work of a data engineer is actually to create pipeline to collect data from the data source and make it ready for data analysis. So DP600 is actually analytic engineer. This is the intermediary between an analyst and a data engineer. So it means if you are working as an analytic engineer, it means you can create a dashboard, you can create a report. You also have some knowledge about data pipeline. What is data pipeline? It's what you guys are actually been doing. Whenever you are developing your Power BI report, what do? You connect your data. You connect to data source. This is what data engineering you are doing. Okay, but in some cases you have many data sources and you need to aggregate this data together into one place, which is where we have the data warehouse. Okay, so DP600 is going to take you to the path to become an analytic engineer. Turn raw data into governed business-ready analytic. Why DP700 is data engineer, build and run pipelines that ingest, transform, and orchestrate data. So if you are going to be writing DP700 exam, it means you are planning to become a data engineer. And you remember, in everything you are doing, you have to make sure that you are following a path. You have to make sure you are following a path. If you want to become a data analyst, I mean, for our students that are currently pursuing a data analyst role, the best part that you should go through is analytic engineer. Okay, why the next is data engineer. And the final one, DP800, is actually SQL developer. This is a new course. I mean, I think this year it was in beta. It was this year that it's just come. I think maybe early last year, or ending of last year, or early this year, that's just commissioned. This is one of the most difficult exams. Out of the three, this is the most difficult exam. Why? Because it is a new exam. There is no dumps, there is no past question. We have limited number of people that have written this exam. So SQL AI developer, add AI features, vector search, embedding, RAG to SQL database. This is actually made for people that are in database domain. If you are working as a database administrator, it is good to take up this course. It's even the best to take up this course. DP800, SQL AI developer. So I believe now, from what we have been seeing so far, you can actually think of the appropriate exam to choose and which one to apply for. Okay, and you can see DP600 is easier than DP700, and DP700 is easier than DP800. I will not recommend anybody on this call to do DP800 now. No. Okay, we have some strategy that we can give you for you to pass DP600 and DP700, but DP800, you do not have the strategy yet because it's a new exam. Okay, don't forget, if you have any question so going on, please stop me and ask. All right, so these are at a glance comparison, DP600. So one of the reasons why I'm also showing this is to prepare your mind to show you what you should be expecting in the exam and how you can prepare yourself to be able to pass this exam. Yeah, Mr. Kenneth, you have the floor.
So yeah, thank you very much. Uh, when I reach out to you over the week, you asked me to go ahead and register for the exam. But I didn't actually know what the how do I put it, the content of the course yet. So
Yeah,
I just went ahead and picked the 800. So now that you have been able to break it down for me, I just want to ask, is there any way that one can edit or adjust what he has already picked to
ah, we have to look into it. It's difficult. We have to look into it. The other things we can do is that if you can actually request for another voucher, but in that case, you need to use another email. Your email is already registered with him. So you remember you have to use a Microsoft email. So I believe
yeah.
this is just the beginning. You're just starting to acquire. For me, I have I think 8 or 9 Microsoft certification. So which means I cannot change my Microsoft email. Okay, but for you, if you are just starting by now, you can actually create a new Microsoft email and quickly request for a new voucher. Do you understand? But DP 800, I will not recommend now for you to do it because we do not have the strategy yet. Okay, can I continue?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Makes sense. Thank you so much. All right, so we have these. These are the comparison. So official title. So implementing analytic solution using Microsoft Fabric. So we have been implementing analytic solution using Microsoft Excel. We're able to do it using Tableau. We're able to do it using Power BI. Now we are going to be using Microsoft Fabric to do it. I mean, for those that I believe everyone on this call, you attended our last section where we had the end-to-end data and analytic and data engineering project, whereby where we fill in Microsoft form and we find a dashboard being updated automatically. We saw the end-to-end, everything was done inside our Fabric. So we use both data engineering skills, and we also use data analytics skill. Inside Microsoft Fabric, there is Power BI. And also one thing I want to mention is everyone on this call, because when you are you need to do some hands-on practice to be able to get yourself well with the environment. So, and you need to use work email. It will not accept your personal email. So if you are struggling to have such account, you can reach out to me. I can actually create an account for you. These are actually to our students. I mean, for anyone that have been with us, we can create from our own company domain. You can create an account for you so that you can log in and actually practicalize all of these things before your exam. Okay. All right. So we have DP 600, DP 700, and DP 800. So these are the name certification. Fabric Analytic Engineer Associate. For DP 700, Fabric Data Engineer Associate. While the DP 800, SQL AI Developer Associate. Okay, so core focus of the DP 600, governed analytics, semantic model, that reporting platform. This is not different from what you know on using Power BI. The only difference is for you to get use with Fabric environment. Okay, it's just for you to log into Fabric environment, see different items, different features that you can use. What are the functions? What are they used for? Okay, and you'll be good. And we are going to provide you the material you need. We're also going to provide you DOMS. DOMS are actually past question. I mean, I could remember when we were in the university that time, whenever we want to do an exam, the lecturer will give us tutorial question and tell us to go and solve the tutorial question. And at the end of the day, during the exam, if they gave us 15 tutorial questions during the exam, if the exam question is 4, they can return 3 questions from the tutorial question. And one will just be named, it was really helpful. The same thing with Microsoft certification exam. I mean, go to the repeat question. So from the dumps we are going to provide, I mean, 60% of the questions are going to be repeated. 60%, if not 70%. However, you need to understand the question. You need to understand what you are doing, because I mean, when you are preparing using the DOMS, you see the question, you cannot cram it. If you understand it and you see, okay, for this question, this is the answer that was chosen. So during the exam, even if they took the question, you will still be able to pick the right answer. So you actually have a lot to do now, because between now and July 24, I mean, between now and July 24, you need to book your exam. You can actually book anytime, but the exam, you need to write it before the end of next month. Before August 31st, you need to write the exam. So you have limited time to study, to be able to understand all of this. So I would recommend for anyone that wants to do this exam, just start with DP600. Okay, it's going to be very helpful. So who is it for? So BI developer, semantic, all of this is what I've explained before. Who are this exam for? DP600 for, and a data analyst that want to upgrade himself. Why DP700 is for a data engineer that want to leverage on Microsoft solution and Microsoft service. Okay, so we have some additional things in the DP600 which we are going to see. Okay, let's proceed because of our time. All right, one good thing about this exam is that you can decide to write this exam at home, and you can also decide to write it in an exam center. This is 100% voucher. If you did most of the exam I've written some at home, and I actually prefer writing it in the exam center. Why? There was one time I want to write one exam at home, and as I began the exam, my internet was just slow. Oh my God. When it's supposed to bring the next question, it was rolling. I thought I would fail the exam. I had to stop and report to because at the time you are writing the exam, their support will be available. So you can chat them that you are experiencing these. They can cancel your exam. They can reschedule it for you. So I just asked for the schedule. So they rescheduled me to write it at an exam center. So it's if you are comfortable, you have the time, it's good. You are not paying any additional money. When you want to register, it's going to ask you, where are you located? Where is your region? So it's going to tell you, okay, these are the exam centers in your region, in your radar. Okay, and you can pick any one of them. Once you pick it, it schedule you pick the time that is comfortable for you, and you go there to write your exam. Okay, but make sure you prepare well. All right, so fabric analytic engineer. So these are just more details about each of the exam. So audience profile, design, create, manage analytic assets, semantic model, warehouse, and lakehouse. So I believe some of you have not heard of lakehouse before. Coming from Power BI, lakehouse is just like a database, okay, which is centralized database where every other fabric items where they are okay. No, we have one lake and we have lake house. One lake is decentralized, okay, which is one of the things that make fabric more better than every other solution. Because with one lake, you can connect to different data sources. With one lake, we can actually use mirroring. For instance, you want to develop a solution, which is actually what we did last time. We want to develop a solution, and our data source is the database. Okay. Before now, what we used to do is that we are going to create a pipeline to move the data, to extract the data from the database to our whether data warehouse or to our data source. I mean, to the data source that we want to make use of before we now develop the report on it. But now with one lake, you can actually do mirroring. You don't need to move the data. Also, this is a multi-cloud solution. We have different cloud solutions. We have AWS, we have Azure, we have Google, different cloud solution. With Lakehouse, you can also do snapshots. You don't need to move. So it has a lot of advantage. Also, when you are developing your solution, for instance, you create a semantic model on Power BI semantic model. Everything is in the Lakehouse, is in one lake. So, which means someone else can reuse your semantic model. Someone else, any other person, do not need to recreate the same data source. They do not need to collect the same data source because everything is available at the one lake. Now, you create your lakehouse. Lakehouse is like your database. So the good thing about lakehouse is that, which make it better, is that, I mean, when we are working with traditional database, it will only you only have access to connect or to create a table a table in tabular form. And you see, you actually have some scenario whereby your data is not in tabular form. Your data is in a form, in a file form, CSV file, JSON file. So which means you are making use of T-SQL will not be compatible with the files. So with Lakehouse, you can make use of notebook. Notebook is actually a platform where you can write your Python programming language. You can write your PySpark, different things there. So which means on the same database, I'm using Lakehouse as a database now. You can have a file. You can also have a table. So it is very, very interesting. If you start learning this, you are going to really enjoy it. And it makes work easier than making use of a traditional database. So prepare and enrich data, secure analytic assets, manage semantic model. All of this, you know them before. Work with architect, analyst, engineer, and administrator. So everybody are working on the same platform. Comfortable querying with SQL, KQL, and DAX. So you can actually query on the same platform. You can use SQL query language. You can use KQL. KQL is custom query language. It's actually used for stream data, stream analytic data. So, I mean, we know we have batch data, we have stream data. Stream data is data that is the way it is coming, you are converting it. For instance, I work on a project on Qatar weather. Okay, so immediately, I mean, every time the data is being imported in real time into my database, then I was using Event House. So when you are using streaming data, you are going to be working with Event House. Okay, Event House database. So Event House database is what you use to query Event House database is KQL. You also need to know, you need to learn how to use KQL. It's just a little bit different from T-SQL. KQL programming language, and it's actually even more, should I say more easy than T-SQL? Okay, maybe when you start learning it. So in the material we're going to provide, you can learn all of that from it. All right, so these are the things you need to know: exam domain and weighing. So maintain a data analysis solution, prepare data, implement and manage semantic model. For the good thing about DP 600 is that 40% of the exam are actually on Power BI. 40% of the exam. So if you're able to pass this exam, I would recommend that you go ahead and write your Power BI certification exam, because 40% of the exam is a question from Power BI exam. Okay, so even when you are learning it, it's a question. So it just depends on your dedication. They can decide, I want to dedicate 2 weeks to study this thing, and we are going to provide you the material you need. Dedicate the time, watch all the required video, do all the required practice, all the assets that you need. We are going to provide it for you. You do all the exam, practice exam. I'm sure that you're going to pass this exam. You're going to pass it. All right, so key skills tested. So that these are the skills. Okay, I'm going to provide this video recording so that at least you can see all of these guys. So for the data engineering, these are the things that you need to know. So expertise in data loading pattern is actually not difficult as well. If you're able to pass DP 600, you can pass DP 700. I passed DP 600, certified DP 600, certified DP 700. And I'm about to schedule my DP 800. So I've gone through it. I understand. I know what it takes. Okay, so you can do it. All right, so these are the audience. So, I mean, for DP, even if you do not need to know much of PySpark, just a little of PySpark, a little command, and you can do it. Okay, so because of our time, I'll just go through all of this. So from there, you can choose. So this is for DP 800, SQL AI Developer Associates. So if you are a database administrator, it's good. Okay, yeah, I mean, 50%, 60% of the problem is solved. If you're a database administrator, 60% of what you are doing or what you know is what is in this exam guideline. Okay, only the AI part that you need to learn. So, okay, all right. So, what kind of thinking each exam test? So for DP 600, is this data model well, secure, and performant enough for business user to trust and query. All of this are actually your Power BI. Okay, in Power BI, that's where you model your data. The same thing you did in Power BI is actually what you are doing on Microsoft Fabric. Then the security part, then the performance. Okay, in Power BI, you do not go deep into performance, but with this, there's an advanced Power BI development whereby they are going to introduce different tools that you can actually use to optimize your model. And we know when you optimize your model, it means your report will run fast. Okay, there are different tools, tabular form, we have DAX query, things like 3 to 4 tools that you can play around with. All of these are easy. So for DP 700, is this data flowing is this data flowing reliably, transformed correctly, and running and monitored without breaking? So just data engineering, we are monitoring the data extraction, data loading. Is it running well? Is it reliable? Is there any failure? It's just about that. And for DP 800, can this database securely store, save, and now reason over data using AI, search, embedding, and RAG? Before now, SQL database, some people see it as a static, but now it's no more static. We have structured database and we have DBMS, structured database. SQL is actually structured database. There's another database management solution. Okay, structured database and non-structured database. What I mean by structured database are database that manage structured data. For the unstructured or non-structured, no SQL. Non-structure means there is no structure. It means, when we say structure, it means it's in form of a tabular form, whereby for every records, there is a corresponding rows and columns for it. We can pin a particular attribute to every entities, but for unstructured, it's different. Let me give us one example. An example is that, for instance, in a retail organization which sells different products. Now, you want to keep your inventory, your product inventory. So you are selling different products. One of the products you are selling is shoe. Another product you are selling is human hair. Now, you see the same attribute that is for shoe. Is it the same attribute you have for human hair? And you remember, if it is in structured form, it means for every entity, we have entity, we have entity and attribute. Attribute of an entity is the columns. Attribute say something about the entity. Okay, for instance, so as I was saying, the inventory, product inventory. So in this product, shoe, in the shoe, one of the attributes of the shoe is color. So if you put it in a tabular form, that means column, we have a column. Now, size, we have a column, a column, okay? Another one for shoe is, what other one can we say for shoe? We have color, we have size, maybe that too. Now, let's talk about human hair. Human hair. Number one attribute for human hair, color is also an attribute, okay? Do we have size for human hair? Let's assume we have size. Okay, we also have, which other attribute that we have for human hair? Which other attributes? Please, so we are doing this together for human hair. Okay, let me bring one more. The coil. Thank you, coil. So if we create another column.
Brazilian hair.
Thank you so much.
The brown.
So which means for that particular entity, we have different attributes. So if you are creating columns for all of these, it is not possible. This is where no SQL comes in. It means no structure, whereby when you are storing your data, you store the data without confining it in a particular column in a place. So it is in form of a JSON. This is when, so now SQL can do all of it. With SQL now, we can actually do AI. With SQL, we can actually do CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous integration, continuous development. We can connect our SQL project to GitHub, to Azure DevOps. We can do RAG. What is RAG? RAG is actually an AI, for instance, an AI chatbot or an AI LLM that is actually using your we call it, what do we call it? For instance, now when you are using ChatGPT, whatever if I put on ChatGPT that okay, what is my company revenue? KZ Solution Academy in 2025, what was our revenue? ChatGPT will not be able to give us any answer. Why? Because ChatGPT does not have access to our database. So this is where RAG comes in, where you develop. So the AI is actually talking to your own data estate, talking to your own database. Okay, so this is where RAG comes in. Customization. You are customizing the AI, whereby it's using your database as its memory. So any question you are asking is going to be given response according to what you have provided to the AI. This is where RAG comes in. Okay, this is DP 800. All right, how the three fits together as a career path. Many data professionals eventually hold more than one, a common part in enterprise IT or DBA team. So starting with DP700, if your role is closer to pipeline, ETL, orchestration, and infrastructure, the classical data engineering or the DBA background. So pair with DP600, if your role touches reporting, semantic model, and business-facing analytic, BI developer, analytic engineer. So this is, you can see the DP600 now, business intelligence developer, and analytic engineer. Also for the DP800, once comfortable with TSQL, you need to be comfortable with TSQL, specialized in AI-enabled apps, vector search, and RAG on top of SQL Server, Azure SQL, and Fabric DB. Quick decision to guide students. I want to build a report, dashboard. I mean, these are the questions you want to ask yourself. Do you want to build reports, dashboard, and semantic model people trust? DP600. I want to build and run the pipeline that move and clean data. We all know what the pipeline. Pipeline is just like a pathway. It's just like an orchestrator that move data from one place to another. Okay, in your company, you want to develop a report, company-wise reports. And for you to be able to do that, I think I gave us one example one time like that whenever the management in the management report, what management want to see is that they want to see their company revenue. They want to see their profit. Management do not know what came together for them to be able to get that. Now, for them to be able to get the company revenue and the expense in the dashboard, it means at the background is the report was working with different data sources. For instance, now we know that the no company uses one application. Okay, now the HR team has a specialized application they are using. The procurement team has a specialized application they are using, which might be different from what HR is using. The same thing with the accounts. Okay, and now for them to be able to come with that single report that has the company revenue and the expenses, it means all of these applications, in one way or the other, someone was able to bring the data from all of them into one place and reconcile, make them uniform before a data analyst can actually generate a report. These are the works of a data engineer. Creating pipeline to collect different data. And I mean, now you are collecting data from different data sources. You need to clean the data because data are not uniform. They might have different data type. Okay, they might even mean different things, but you understand what we are doing. So you wrangle the data and make it uniform before it is now placed in the hand of a data analyst. Now you see that, which makes the work of data analyst easier. So most of the time, data analyst is working with almost prepared data. The only thing they need to do is to do little data cleaning and they generate their reports. Okay, does it make sense? Does it make sense?
Yes.
Thank you so much. So for DP800, I'm SQL database person. I want to add AI feature, search, embedding, and RAG to database. Okay. So I want the full picture of Fabric end to end, then DP700 and DP600. Okay. But I will recommend to do DP600 first before DP700. If you're able to pass DP600, then you can pass DP700. Almost the same syllabus. So practical note for exam day. Passing score. all the 3 exams require 700 over 1,000 and run about 100 minutes. So 100 minutes for the exam. Most are 60 questions. 60 questions. Once you have 70 out of, so I'm going to show you the dumps we are going to provide. I think it adds up to maybe 180 question or something. Make sure you complete all the questions. I'm going to show us. So skills outline evolve. Check the official Microsoft Learn study guide for the current skill measure as updated. So I'm going to show you as well that. Then GA over preview. Most questions target GA features. Preview features appear only if when they are uploaded. Hands-on bit memorization. Build a real lakehouse, warehouse, semantic model pipeline, or SQL layer features. Exam as scenario based. Yeah, so you need to exam actually scenario based. You need to actually build an hands-on project. For instance, I can see a lot of people were able to replicate the project that we did during our last bootcamp. The projects. So a lot of people are able to, I think I saw 2 people, they were able to, while doing that project, you are going to understand some things. So please watch the video, try to replicate the project. If you have any talent, reach out. I will be happy to support. Okay, this is the end of my slide. This is the end of my slide. So let me, because I think we have 13 minutes now. This section is just for 1 hour. So let me show you the exam dumps. Okay, before the exam dumps, so while preparing for this certification, this is one of the material I used. If you use this material, I bet you are going to pass this exam. Okay, this course, if I can give you if you cannot purchase it, I can give you my access for you to access this. You can access it and study it and be able to pass the exam. Okay, I actually use this as well. So I'm going to put it on the chat. So go to Udemy, try to access it. Okay. So it's a very good course. You can make use of it to learn. And it's actually hands-on. It's going to direct you what you need to do to get one thing or the other. Okay, that is number 1. The next thing I want to show you is the let me see the past question. Let me see where I have it. Any questions so far? Okay, so this past question I want to give you is actually an hot cake. I did a lot before I was able to get this. Okay, so because it's a community, I'm happy to give it out. So look at this. It has all exam you can think of. This is a PL300. So we are preparing for PL300, which is PL300 is Power BI data analyst. This dumps is okay for you. The same thing, 60% or 70% from this is going to be repeated in the real exam. If you're able to go through all of this, see all of this. And these are the things that you know. These are the things that you know. This is not different from what you know. Okay, if you pass through our academy, even when during the class, we used to bring some of these questions for you guys to answer. And I believe a lot of people used to get answer to it. Okay, so now this is the exam we want. So let's come on. Exams, come to exams. Now, see, all exams are there. So scroll down, we search for DP, Microsoft. So this is Microsoft exam. So you can see DP 600. DP 800 is not there yet. So this is DP 600. Click on DP 600. View all questions. So we have 198 questions. 198 questions. And this a lot of dumps out there. They are not free. You need to pay for dumps. But this is free. It took us a lot of time before we were able to get this. So please make sure you make good of it. Make good use of it. So you can see most of the questions are actually scenario based. Don't let the scenario bore you. Okay, when you start and you see the scenario, you can see how long this scenario is, and maybe only 2 questions or 1 question from it. So if you see that you are getting bored with the scenario, go to the next question. You can always come back there, and I bet it with you, the same scenario question is going to come out in your exam. I told you, I've done this exam, DP 600, I passed, DP 700, I passed, and I use the same dumps elsewhere. This same scenario-based question is going to be repeated. Okay, so please make sure. So don't get if you see that you don't understand, leave it. One good thing about this is that whichever answer you pick, they give explanation. For instance, let's say the answer is A. I don't know the answer. I'll click on show answer. Can you see? People contribution on this. Very nice. So you see explanation for your choice. Whatever you have chosen, you see explanation for it. Okay, so from the explanation, you can actually understand it better. You can see this person put the link. Okay, the answer is C, and it says selected C. Currently, only Git in Azure repos is supported, and it gave the link where you can actually confirm this. So if you want to confirm it, you can use the link and check. You see, sometimes the answer they chose might not be right, but when you check this, when 90% of people are picking a particular answer, probably the answer is correct. You can also research more. And that's why I say hands-on. You also need to do hands-on project on it. While you're doing the hands-on, you also understand something. So when you see it, it's not strange to you. You can see how a lot of people, comment. A lot of people pick C. You can see. So which means the answer is actually C. Let's look at this. You have a fabric warehouse that contains a table named staging. This contains the following columns. You need to write a TSQL query that will return data for the year 2023 that display product ID and product name and has a summarized amount that is higher than 100. Which query should you use? So painful, I did not see. This is what you can do. This is so simple. For people that have done SQL, what are they saying? Just select what? Product ID, comma, product name, and that's a summary. Now, here we are going to go into group. Let me bring it out. Let me bring this thing out. Let me write it out here. You can see my screen. So is select product ID, comma, product name, comma. Now, it said amount now. So let's just put amount. Okay. From the table name. What's the table name? Let's say table. Table. Now you need to group by the product name. Okay, so here you put sum. This is sum of amount. You can call it amount. This is just TSQL. This is just alias amount. And here, so group by product name, comma, product ID. This is the answer. Product ID. So assuming they show, let me see. Let's also open solution. They're supposed to show the options. So it wasn't shown here. Okay, one reason or the other. So let's see. They chose A here. Oh, they put a condition where amount has a summarized amount that is higher than 1,000. So here you use having the summarized amount greater than 1,000. So because of that, so after group, anything after group, you have having this greater than 1,000. So whenever you have group by, remember having and where they actually mean the same thing. But whenever you're having group by and you want to filter after that, you use having. Okay, but if it is before group by, you want to filter, it is where. So if you have gone through the W3 school, you are going to understand all of this. So you can see here now. So having without this, so as we see the option, we are going to write it too. So some people choose A, some people choose D. So you can see this is the query. This is the query. So now, if you remember, they said that we will return the data for the join 2023. So this is it. This is where the where comes in. Where year, date part, year is 2023. Group by this, having some. So this is the answer. So you see how all of them work together. So it's actually what you know before. So this it will be like in form of a revision for you, and to put you, it's going to put you on the spot. It's going to put you on the spot. You know, it will. I mean, I know some people are already relaxed because they did not see challenge, but this is a challenge on its own. Okay, so you can see this from the explanation. You can actually. So when you are doing it next, so this thing You can do it more than one time. This question. You can do it more than one time. So there are many questions there. See, click on next. There are 100 and something questions. Complete everything. Also, I used to do something on YouTube. I'll come to YouTube. There's one girl that used to also do something like that. So, but maybe last minute to my exam, I'll just click and be listening to it. DP 600 exam question, exam docs or something. See, exam question. Let me just put this. I think this Priyanka. Let me see this. That's the girl. Priyanka. Her name is still ringing in my head. So Priyanka, can you see? All of these are actually real questions. But let me forward this. The good thing is that, hey, can you hear what she said? All of these questions, most of these questions are also the same question from here. Okay, the same question, just the same question. So, but you are just listening to it and you are looking at it. She's going to go through this and give you the option and give you maybe 2 seconds or 2 minutes to say your answer before she brings the answer. And after that, you can pause it and say the answer. Then she brings her answer and she explains. So you have a lot of resource to pass this exam. Any questions so far? Hello.
Mine is not a question. It's just I'm just trying to wrap my head on how to, divert my first choice to another choice. So
Yeah.
I will try and see if I can open another email address so I can, apply.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Well done.
But if I don't, I will if I couldn't do that, I will just train myself or then the ones I know I can get my hands on online and then go for the exam.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, so all right. So now, I think that will be the end of the class. So I've given you 3 things now: the YouTube, this link, and also Udemy. So if you have any challenge, then if you need me to give you my account, I can try to give you access to my account. So you can buy it. I think it's just 10,000 or something. It's just 10,000 for the course. You can buy it. You have its lifetime. See, I've done the exam more than a year ago. I still have it. I can always reference to it. Okay, I can always reference to it. Go there, click the exam, everything. But it's a lot. Okay, so if you are using it, you need to because you have limited time. So you need to be smart with it. Most of the things, make sure you watch this video and make sure you're able to do 1 or 3 projects. One other thing I also did was this. Now, one other thing I did was I come here on Claude and said, okay, I want to learn, I want to prepare for DP 600 exam. Give me 5 projects I can work on to prepare myself. What I will cover all the required topics, like to prepare for the exam. Put it on Claude. Put it. It's going to give you different idea. Now, the good thing about it is that you can ask further and give me the data set that I need to use. It's already giving us end-to-end medallion lakehouse with governor. But please don't, you do medallion, you need medallion DP600, but don't get yourself worked so much, okay? Just take it easy, okay? Some of these projects is giving me there. Some of the example is giving real-time event stream. So real-time, I would advise you go with this guy. This guy gives step by step, start from the basic for you to become pro. So you have all the material with you. You need to sit down and plan yourself. All right. Any question before we call it a day?
From my side, I'm okay.
Thank you so much. So I'll try to see how I can provide a video so anyone that wants to go back to it. And the group is, you can always put your comment on the group. If you are facing any challenge, put it on the group and we'll be very happy to support. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for the information, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Wonderful night.
A wonderful night.